Alright, Infernal Blessings, we are back with another video. Before I begin, a couple quick announcements. If you're interested in a spiritual reading or a consultation, I offer various different types of readings: Clepothic demonic readings, Egyptian oracle readings, Santa Muerte readings, shadow work readings. As I've always said, many times before, shadow work is continual. When you're looking for a sense of direction as far as your ritual work, because that question comes up all the time for people on the path, whether you're beginners or experienced. What kind of ritual work should I be doing? And I always keep it real simple. Ritual work should always be designed first and foremost for your needs. I tend to see people make the mistake all the time to come on this path, and they're just working towards materialistic garbage and not spiritually mastering themselves. Because as I said, once you master yourself, you address those needs, all those wants will come. Trust me when I tell you, they will come, whatever it is. All right. Maybe you're interested in a deity reading to find out what gods, goddesses, and demons and spirits walk with you. Or maybe you're just interested in a spiritual consultation because you got a lot of questions about the occult, the left-hand path, or you want to focus on a specific area of interest. People just utilize a consultation read and come with literally a list of questions, and we just have an open discussion. Any of the aforementioned, shoot me an email, khnum19@gmail.com. Please include in your email your full weekly availability, including the time zone you are in, and we will find a day and time that works for both of us. If you want to sign up for classes, it's the number one email I get all the time. Baniti, no matter how many times I say it in videos, Baniti, how do I get in on your classes? What classes do you offer? How do you do your classes? This, that, and the third. Well, the best way to get in, go to my Patreon page at patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti, tier 3. That's the tier you want to join. That's going to give you access to the 3 private classes I do every month on Patreon, including the group ritual we do together at the end of the month. Also, keep in mind, it gives you access not just from the day you join moving forward, it gives you access to everything in the archives going 6 years back. When you go to the Patreon page at patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti, click the collection section. You will see all the ongoing classes. We've got Necronomicon class going on, Esoteric Islamic Studies and Quranic class going on. We've got Shadow Work class going on, Luciferian Magic and Self-Mastery class, Dark Witchcraft and Sorcery class. We have Kundalini Meditation and Awakening class, Sith Dark Side Alchemy and Philosophy class, Egyptian Vampiric Magic class. I mean, I'm just running through and I'm missing a bunch. This is how many classes literally are on there. The Egyptian Hermetic Alchemy class, Esoterical Occult Bible Study class, and the list goes on. I'm telling you this, and I say this again with confidence, not arrogance. There's nobody offering what I'm offering for the amount that I'm offered it for. And the quality of classes, it's going to keep you busy for a long, long time. Trust me when I tell you. Okay? And I say that with confidence, not arrogance. So check it out, patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti, tier 3. Also, don't forget to check out all the social media pages. Primordial Chaos 9 on Instagram. Primordial Chaos, 2 words, on Facebook. PrimordialChaos.com3 on TikTok. Those are the places you want to go to. Subscribe to those platforms. That's how you keep abreast of what I'm doing here at Primordial Chaos, the latest happenings, announcements, classes, events. Go to those platforms, subscribe, and stay up to par, up to date of what I'm doing here at Primordial Chaos. All right? Don't forget to check out the Primordial Chaos podcast, available on Spotify and all major podcast platforms. Don't forget to hit that like button. It takes just a split second, 1 split second. Just hit it. The more likes these videos get, the more the algorithm gets out there and these videos reach more people. Also, subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell. Check all notifications, and hopefully you get a notification every time I go live or post a new video such as this one that you're watching right now. The contact, all the links to my Patreon page to sign up for classes, the podcast, the social media pages, my contact email, all those links are in the description box of this video you're watching. Well, you see the title. It's that time of year again, right? My favorite time of year, but it's also that time of year to get us in the mindset of the most powerful time of year, in my opinion, for an occultist, somebody that works the dark arts, sorcery, magic, witchcrafts, these higher spiritual science of spirituality. Now that the conference is winding down, and that's the opening or the gateway to getting us ready for the season of stasis. I call it the sixth angle, the season of stasis. Yes, and I attribute it and synchronize it with the sixth angle on the working of the 9 angles that goes back to the original satanic ritual books. When you go back to the original satanic church, I would also encourage people to read a more revised aspect and serious breakdown of it. Infernal Geometry by Toby Chappell. That's a book I'll put out there. I recommend. Not a simple read. You really have to study, read, learn, because it takes it to a very detailed and intricate level. It's only a hard learn if you can't focus, you can't study. But just to throw that resource out there for you guys to add to study and research. But I call this the sixth angle, the season of stasis and growth, right? We look at, as we're approaching now, within 5 to 6 weeks as the recording of this video, we enter what they call the winter solstice. And all the solstices are cycles. And I told you, everything, true time, for lack of a better word, time doesn't exist based on what they've taught us time is, like linear time. It's an illusion. The equinoxes are just cycles. To confirm, everything is in cycles and cyclical time, and everything is one present continuous moment. I've talked about this many times before. But as we're now several weeks out from the winter solstice, which in most spiritual paths, they consider this a season of darkness, the cold, a season of, where things kind of stop. It's kind of like a season of hibernation, to an example. It's not looked at as a productive time of the year, spiritual-wise. And that's completely false. That's what's taught on lesser right-hand path philosophies and spiritual systems and dogmas. So we now know, too, to throw out there this time of year for those who are on the Patreon page, and I'm working with a couple of you guys, as we approach what they call Christmas. And the reason why Christmas, as I've said many times before, is synonymous with the birth of Christ, because Christ symbolically represents in Christianity light illuminating in the darkness, a great light of birth that enters the world. And that day is chosen because December 25th is the day on the Gregorian calendar that has the shortest amount of daylight hours. So this is why they've chosen the birth of the biblical Christ to be on the 25th, because Christ represents bringing light into a world symbolically of darkness. It's all symbolic. Right? There was no Christ born on December 25th. It goes back and ties into pagan roots of Nimrod, where you can find the origin of the Christmas tree when you understand it from an occult and ritualistic perspective. They won't tell you that a lot of their holidays, so-called Christian holidays, have pagan roots or witchcraft roots, and that's where you get your origin of the Christmas tree. I'll talk more on that as we get closer to the holidays. I'll always break that down every year and give you more insight. I ritualize the holidays. We'll get into that as we get closer to Thanksgiving. It's such a powerful ritualistic time of year. As you see, Starbucks got their holiday drinks, baby. Peppermint mocha, hot peppermint mocha, the best shit for the holidays. The slow sips. So this is still about more than half full, and I got this about an hour ago. You just got to savor this shit, man. Right? I love everything about this stuff. And it's just me. You can say, fuck the holidays, Baniti. I don't celebrate none of that white man shit and blah, 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 blah. Right? You can be on that spooky shit. I'll celebrate all that shit. But anyway, I'll get into that on another time. I'm sorry, folks. That shit is just so fucking good. especially when you go to a place that makes it right. But anyway, so it's a serious time of spiritual growth. Now, like animals such as bears that hibernate in the winter because they store up their energy, in a sense, it's a form of spiritual hibernation. We go within because what we want to try to do now is do a serious internal reflection on ourselves. So what now? I want everybody to get into the mindset as now we're approaching this season. Now is the time, because you only have less than a month before this year is out. Also, I will now start promoting 2 yearly forecast readings are available. You can sign up to do your yearly forecast reading. I do them from November to about the first week in February. So I'm going to start putting the advertisement out there for that. So you'll see that probably pop up as soon as this video does. So yes, you can now sign up for your yearly forecast reading. I just want to be clear with this. This is my busiest months of the year for readings. The yearly forecast readings, book them. I go in order. They book fast. And it tends to create, at least a week or so wait when you book. I can't get to you within a couple of days all the time like regular readings. So the yearly forecast readings are now available. You can also sign up for those, and it's a great time of the year, which is going to segue into what I was just about to say. Now is the time where everybody, the conference has come and gone. We celebrated the feast of Samhain. We activated the devil's Shabbut, right? Or the adversarial Shabbut, activating a spiritual current and energy that awakens the God that lies dormant within, that activates the personal daemon, that brings you to the self-realization of who and what you really are. That's why the conference was themed around the year of the personal daemon, right? So now you got to do a reflection on how did your 2025 go for you? What did you succeed and fail at? We have this conversation every year. Now is the time, right? Look back on your year. The goals you set. What did you accomplish? What did you fail at? What can you do better? Where do you need to improve? Also look at where you did get better and how can you continue to strengthen areas where you've gotten better. So it's not, I just don't want to paint the picture. It's not all about just dealing with the bad or the negative or things where you fall short. It's also about becoming stronger in the areas where you are already strong and you're continuing to see progress and grow. And most importantly, after you've done that, start now thinking about and setting your goals for next year. Now, the yearly forecast readings, obviously, that's what it's designed. It's a yearly forecast of what the spirits, the gods, the goddesses, and demons got in store for you as you approach your new year. So combine that knowledge, take that understanding. Now, there's been some of you over the years who have done a tremendous fucking job. I mean, there's several of you who've been doing, there's a lot of you that do the readings, but there's a group that stands out to me. You guys have taken that yearly forecast reading and you've really used the information as a tool to really better yourself and master yourself. Because what comes up in those readings is what a lot of things you can expect, what you're in store for, what ritual work you need to do, this, that, and the third. A lot of you guys have used it as a weapon in your arsenal to become stronger, more spiritually grounded, and more spiritually connected to yourself, your spiritual path, and most importantly, which opens the doors to getting great results. Excuse me. So, I applaud you guys that have used that as a tool, and that's what really a reading or a divination session is really for. Right? You're supposed to take that information and how can you utilize it to better yourself? I keep telling people, don't go into readings or divination sessions looking to hear what you want to hear. Most people go into those type of sessions because they want to hear how special they are. And I'm not that type of spiritualist. I'm going to tell you what clearly the spirits are communicating and what those messages are directly for you. So it may not be you're special and you're the son and daughter of this god or that goddess or all those things that stroke and inflate your ego. You might hear the complete opposite. People get shocked where a lot of stuff comes up about that, they are not dealing with aspects of themselves that are holding them down. And it could be a lot of things that one would label as being negative. And the individual starts to learn they have a lot of fucking issues they're not addressing. And they kind of get a little bit taken aback because, oh, this is what I didn't do the reading for this, that. It's not a matter of what you did it for. It's a matter of what comes up that's needed. And that's what I keep telling people. This is a path about doing what you need. And sometimes what you need takes precedence over what you want. And people struggle with that. I've talked so many times on and off over the years about how to differentiate between your wants and your needs. And you will find out when you make a list. And I told you, a little simple exercise. Make a list of things you think you need. And I say think because you're going to see a lot of things on those lists are wants. Once you make a list of everything you need, then go back through it again with a fine-tooth comb and be honest with yourself. Is this an absolute need that I must have right now? If so, yes. You can't do without it. You have to have it now. Then put it in the category of the box with needs. But when you go down that list and you've done that process and you start to see, well, honestly, this is a want, put that in the box or the list that these are wants. And then go back directly to the needs and focus on working on those things. Okay? So it's not about what you want to hear. It's not a matter of what you like. It's not a matter of what you think you need. When you open up the door on this path and you walk through, you're activating the spirits to connect with you, and they're going to start tearing you apart and start working on the things you need, regardless of whether you like it or not, regardless if this is the way you want it to happen, or regardless if this is what you have asked for. Okay? And as I said before, when you're working with the infernal gods and goddesses, when you're working with the klepothic deities, when you're working with these different gods and goddesses on this path, they are very intense, strong, transformational energies or spirits. And the key I've said for years with majority of them is be prepared for the change. Okay? You must be prepared for the change. Because the change is what people underestimate. The change is what people tend to not realize can come in such strong waves that the individual may not be prepared for it the way they think they are. And sometimes when we underestimate that change, we're not ready for the rapid changes that manifest in our life, and we get taken aback by it. To the point sometimes, yes, it can turn an individual's life upside down, literally. It can make things a hot mess to where the person is not prepared for these changes. I've seen it sometimes ruin people economically. I've seen it ruin relationships, marriages when not prepared. Because, as I've said many times before, sometimes the problem that you might have, unfortunately, is the person laying right next to you in your bed every night. And you're just in denial. So that could be a problem. Okay, when you're not prepared. So always be prepared for the change. But this is a season of strong change. This is what it is. The season of the sixth angle and stasis, as we approach this winter solstice, as we look and reflect, it's a season of strong change because in this month leading up to the spring, or what they call the spring equinox, you're supposed to emerge resurrected, renewed, a new being. You're supposed to have gone through a serious alchemical transformation because the cycle of spring represents growth and change, right? And I hope you're now understanding better the concept and the principle of what I call cyclical time. Everything is in cycles, okay? So, look, it's a beautiful time of the year. It's a powerful time of the year. We operate, quote unquote, symbolically on a different clock than most paths. I told you, when you look at the tick and the tock on a second-hand clock, to show you how most people are under the spell of time and most of their spiritual systems are governed by linear time, which is a spell. It's an illusion. We govern on, when you look at that second-hand clock, the tick and the tock. There's a space between the tick and the tock, or they call it the second hand, right? It's the one that goes around. There's not many more second-hand clocks, right? There's not a lot of them that exist. You only really see them in public places now. Nobody really has a second-hand clock in their house because everything is digital. It went from analog to digital. Most people are trapped in a spell and illusion on their spiritual path because they're trapped under the spell of time and they're not aware of it. We operate between the tick and the tock. That's where the primordials exist. That's where the void and the abyss has its connection or opening, because one breaks the barrier of time when they enter the void and the abyss, right? There's a lot of methodologies I've tried to throw at you guys over the years to get this. This is just not a path for everybody because of the level of knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and intellect it involves. It's not just your surface shit. It's not just all the as I like to say, the regular stuff, quote unquote. Okay? You really go within in depth and detail, and this, again, is the most powerful time of the year. All right? But we'll elaborate and we'll build more on it, but I just wanted to get everybody in that frame of mind. We're approaching that time of the year. I'll start touching more about upcoming holidays, the power of the holiday season, a great time of the year to ritualize things, etc., because of the amount of power and energy that's now going to be out here over these next couple of months. It's a great time of the year. I know for some it's a tough time of the year because they have other, and I'm going to talk about that. I'm also going to again remind people, check in on people. Mental health is very important. Sometimes you just don't know what people are going through, even on the surface. If they appear to have their stuff together, they look happy, like they have a good life. Some of us have been firsthand experience and have lost very, people we were close with or loved. I lost my best friend back in 2015 on that, and it's something you never forget. So check on those, especially the holidays. It conjures up a lot of memories. It's sometimes with people, it makes them depressed for many different reasons. Now, you should check on people all throughout the year, but especially this time of the year, check on people. Mental health, people, is a serious thing, man. And we just don't know what people are going through. I've seen the best of people take themselves out, and I thought they had great lives. I thought they were doing well. I thought they were happy. I thought they were in a good headspace. But then there's some people who are just mentally ill, and it's not spiritual. They need medical help, and that happens too. And sometimes they just need to get medical help. Sometimes it's not spiritual. You just don't know. But anyway, other than that, that's going to do it for me. You know where to reach me. Remember, all the links is in the description box of my videos. Hold on one second. I've got to get this number as I go through. Yes, I'm en route to picking up the little guy. So, thank you. You know me, I multitask. I try to manage your time. As I said, managing your time is magic, people. And if you don't think they've sped up time, I've done videos on this, or what you think is time. When you start saying shit like, man, the day went so quick. Man, I don't have enough hours time to do anything. Or when you're so locked in sometimes like I am, I forget what day it is sometimes. Sometimes I got to really think hard. What time is it? What day is it? See, that's when you're breaking free from the construct of the spell and indoctrination of linear time. That time shit is a motherfucker. That's like the foundational ingredient they use to keep you asleep. When you start operating on your own time, that's when shit starts to change. So you got to break out of that construct. You got to break out of that linear way of thinking, because this is how they control your thought patterns. It's real simple. All right. But other than that, again, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to wrap this up. Again, if you need to reach out to me for a spiritual reading or a consultation, my contact email, the direct link to my podcast, the social media pages, the direct link to the Primordial Chaos Patreon page to sign up for classes. All of those links are in the description box of this video that you're watching right now. Also, again, don't forget to hit that like button. It takes a split second, please. Hit that button. get the algorithm of these videos out there. Also, when you subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell, check all notifications, and then hopefully you get a notification when I go live or post a new video. All right, other than that, I'm out of here, people. That's going to do it for me for this video. I'll see you guys on the next video. Infernal blessings, and we will talk soon.